So I wanted to start by thanking the chairman, Sultan, the very first chief innovation officer, which we're so excited to have, and the FDIC staff, especially Justin, for making innovation and serving the unbanked and underbanked a top priority, and for holding this tech sprint to further this critical goal. And of course, we'd like to thank the esteemed judges for giving their time today, despite their incredibly busy schedules. So we have the participants listed, so I think we'll just go ahead and dive in. All right, perfect. So we approached this tech sprint by focusing on a few things. One is, how can we harness technology for good? And how can we meet unbanked and underbanked Americans where they are and serve them the way they would like to be served, especially if they have distrust of the banking system or have had past negative experiences. So today we'll discuss and demo for you our social banking application solution that aims to build trust, minimize friction, and help these unbanked communities to have a brighter financial future. Through partnerships with large banks like Discover, these innovations can more quickly be brought to market and deployed by community-focused FIs. This, in turn, helps these community banks, MDIs, or CDFIs succeed by growing their customer base. And the best part of it is that this is all market ready and launching actually next month. So to see how the magic happens, I'll turn it over to Fanta Gilliam, who is CEO and founder of Wellthi.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Again, I am Fanta, CEO and founder at Wellthi, which is a fintech social enterprise based here in Washington, D.C. Before launching the company, I worked as an American diplomat for 10 years in Africa and Asia. And during that time, I witnessed the power of informal social finance firsthand. I saw how informal saving and loan clubs in American immigrant communities and in many emerging markets had a less than 1% default rate. How was that? It was really the peer pressure, the FOMO, the communal savings goals that were key to helping people meet their financial commitments to the group when they might not do so in isolation. And during that time, I remember thinking, what if we modernize these informal social banking traditions with cutting-edge fintech, artificial intelligence, and machine learning? What if we could build technology that would integrate social finance into the formal banking system in a secure, compliant, and cost-effective way? That is what Wellthi technology does. Wellthi was inspired by that informal social banking traditions that are so ubiquitous in many unbanked communities. Wellthi is a smart social banking platform. It can be deployed by financial institutions in any market. And Wellthi is designed to help people supercharge, really, their financial goals in a social banking community where members thrive, build, and feed off of each other real time. So think of Wellthi as a Facebook or a LinkedIn, but offered by your local community bank. Now, what's interesting about our technology is that we built a suite of social banking APIs, mobile apps, and affinity cards that banks, credit unions, community banks can license, white label, and integrate into their core banking system. It can also be translated into multiple languages. And we feel that Wellthi is a great vehicle to help bank the unbanked. What makes Wellthi so unique? It really uses the best of word of mouth and peer pressure, group goals, peer networks to help people to do things like build trust in the formal banking system, who might have normally grown up using saving and borrowing informally outside the bank. Wellthi helps bring them into the banking system through trust and peer networks. Through the app, you can create a savings circle, a fundraiser, or a money pool. Wellthi makes it easy to invite friends and family to open accounts at our partner banks and connect their page to their friends' pages. Wellthi uses social networking feeds and group texting capabilities, smart nudges, to help friends keep each other accountable. And Wellthi's cutting-edge fintech protects unbanked savings and lending clubs from fraud, money mismanagement, and illicit activity. Best of all, Wellthi is free for anyone to open an account and fund a wallet. Now, one of the things that Wellthi also does is address a common digital onboarding challenge that affects many community banks and credit unions trying to service unbanked communities. Wellthi does this by automating the onboarding process for community banks and credit unions. We collect and verify customer data information using strategic partnerships with some of the country's top customer ID verification providers. If a user cannot fulfill the initial requirements through the app, Wellthi can use things like selfies, legal photo IDs such as driver's license, military IDs, passports, even legal permanent resident permits, photo cards, and visas to complete the onboarding process directly on their mobile app and connect their account and activate their account. Customers can onboard photos of these documents directly onto the app, complete the verification process in minutes, and actually, once that account is approved, Wellthi's virtual card and wallet activates immediately. We've also designed Wellthi so that it can accommodate unbanked groups by allowing people to fund their wallet by connecting a prepaid card or depositing cash through their local bank branch or within one of the ATM networks on the Wellthi's MoneyPass or WSFF networks, which has over 30,000 ATMs across the United States. Now your accounts are set up and FDIC insured. Lastly, these demos that you saw provide a sneak peek of how Wellthi works. I'd like to thank Discover and Discover Bank for all of your support in this process. We couldn't have done it without you. And thank you to the FDIC for allowing us to participate. And now I'm going to move back to my colleagues who can wrap us up and talk a little bit about the partnership opportunities. So here, what we're going to talk a bit about is how we are actually partnering with large financial institutions like Discover and with community-focused financial institutions. We're really excited about this opportunity because it allows us to partner with the larger financial institutions who can provide financial support, technical expertise, and relationships to smaller communities within the CRA divisions. And by partnering with community banks to deploy Wellthi under their own brand and connecting to their own banking system, we can help community banks attract these unbanked customers faster and more efficiently at a fraction of the cost they normally pay. And then I'll turn it back over to Kate.
There we got Matt.
Yeah.
Matt's here. Great. So now I'll turn it over to Matt Parks, who is the VP of CRA and Retail Banking at Discover. Thank you.
Thanks, Fonte.
Matt.
Thank you, Fonte. I appreciate it. So, in order to be able to fully vet and test the Wellthi solution or any other such innovation in a live environment, financial institutions can certainly play an important role. Through our CRA philanthropic investment and service activities as large banks, we have the opportunity and, quite frankly, an obligation to work with these CDFI banks, low-income CDFI credit unions, minority deposit institutions to help them reach this last mile of unbanked and underbanked folks as what I would say is welcoming and trusting community-based financial institutions. Here at Discover, we pride ourselves and have a track record of helping launch scalable and high-impact ideas such as Wellthi's that can ultimately become sustainable. Without sustainable, many of the innovations, even those you may hear about today, may be well received up front, but then be discontinued after funding runs out. We've seen that many, many time and time again as people try to reach these, difficult or different populations. And go to the next slide. So hopefully Mr. Hood will appreciate this, but bankers and credit union leaders can certainly get along. I've personally volunteered as a chair of the board of a low-income minority member and minority-managed Stepping Stones Federal Credit Union for over a decade. We started as a de novo institution after the financial crisis, and we have a sole purpose to reach this last mile of underbanked. What I've learned about many things of this population, including like the bus we heard about earlier, is that word of mouth and peer-to-peer referrals are critical to the success of bringing the last mile of unbanked and underbanked individuals into the system. I have many examples to talk about, but unfortunately, maybe somebody can ask me a question of some examples, but peer-to-peer referrals and word of mouth are extremely important. So Stepping Stones will be using the Wellthi solution to hopefully scale and speed up the word of mouth and peer-to-peer referral system to invite folks in the mainstream federally insured financial institution whose sole purpose is charged to help this last mile of folks. Thank you.